Continuing travels around the outer part of the Osprey Atlas. There's added on a couple of carabiners and the hydration tube, which exits from, I didn't exit from this side, clips on here and can clip on here if you've got the chest harness done as well, and you've got the camelback system, and that locks it closed here and open the vent up, and it opens, and then just have a quick stop and then lock that through again, and you can just drop that away. Advice though, if you are using something like this, do, when you stop, take the pack off, do unclip tube. That way when you're putting the pack back on, you don't have to worry about your arm getting caught up in the tube and the tube getting caught up around there or anything like that. And what I tend to do was I was just leaving it hooked onto this side here rather than this one, because I did an awful lot of walking without the chest strap being locked in. Found it a bit easier going, especially in the heat. Final pockets on the outside, the rather excellent chest pockets, and in there one side lives quite a GORP and GPS system. Got the Gecko 201, an old mobile phone, not your mobile phone case. Does quite well, and a works lanyard for a security tag, and so I can hang that round my neck and switch it on, and by the time I get round to checking a few minutes later to see where I'm at, then it's a case of, well, all the information's been found. And really useful system. Found it, didn't bother with it as a route counter on the Southern Upland Way, because walking up valleys and down valleys, because the GPS works in line of sight, it will tell me the distance across the way, and you end up being told that you're something like 10 kilometres away from your destination, and you, half an hour later, you are further away from your destination because of the line of sight variation. So it's useful for checking where I was, marking off campsites and stuff like that. Across the way, camera held on the belt there, and as mentioned on the previous YouTube feeds, a way to stop the camera from sliding off the belt is just like a bigger carabiner, one of these oddities, not for climbing ones, at the end there, and that stops the camera from slipping over the edge there. And then on this side I've got midgie netting. Never used this strip, but it's there just in case, because you don't want to start rummaging around your pack to find your midgie netting when the little darlings start biting. And an addition for the camera, which is a wee bean bag from Jessop's. Great wee thing this. Use that instead of the wee Gorilla Pod. This came out before the Gorilla Pod. It's got a screw thread on there. You can screw your camera onto it. You can put this onto a rock. You can shape it to get the right angle. It's not as accurate as a Gorilla Pod, but about half the price, and packs away quite nicely. And inside the compartment, the main compartment here for the Atlas, got one of these oddities packs, which are useful because they have Gore-Tex, breathable Gore-Tex at the bottom, so you can squeeze out any excess air, as opposed to your normal waterproof bag. This one's my waterproofs. I know it's my waterproofs because I tied a wee cord round the end to tell me, show me which bag is which. And in there, never used it on the Southern Upland Way. I've got my old Spray Ray waterproof and Berghaus waterproof trousers. I've got waterproof socks, mentioned earlier, the Seal-Tech ones. And even got waterproof gloves in there just in case it was belting it down and I had to walk through water, falling down water, what's it called, rain, so I haven't seen it for ages now, for about 2 weeks, and that's heavy duty waterproofs. Never used them, never out of the pack there, used them as a pillow, and that's been it. So I am looking for, I've got inquiries out for lighter as good waterproofs, but will pack down smaller. I've got inquiries out about that this week. Good. Next is Thermarest, the 3/4 length one. Sleeping on that, reasonably comfortable, slipping around a lot, and as mentioned in one of the feeds, put that inside the bivvy bag, and with the sleeping bag on top of it, the bivvy bag just pulled up to about the ankles, sorry, about the knees there, and that keeps this from sliding around. Stop being a problem. I've got an inquiry out about a new longer length sleep mat, and one of these ones in from America, just to compare the difference there, but see how it goes. Sleeping bag, the Cumulus Ultralight 350, rated to -3, lives inside an X-Ped, extra small, an X-Ped bag anyway, waterproof. Pull that out, it's in its own stuff sack, it's down, and it's got a full length zip on it, which is great for unzipping in the morning when your legs are all stiffened up and all that sort of thing, and doesn't take up that much space at all. Relatively cheap in comparison with what else is out there in the market. -3 if it's a really warm night, you can just undo the zip, and I've not slept in anything else in the outdoors since getting this one last summer. Working down the pack, I have my other small OD bag. It doesn't have a cord tied to it, so I know it's not my waterproofs. And this is for my spare clothing. Wicking t-shirt, spare trousers, long johns, sorry, leggings, spare socks, and liner socks, and odds and sods, leaflets found along the way. They do a very good line of leaflets in the Southern Upland Way of archaeology and wildlife, and trees and shrub guides and place names, and a bit in the history there that you find along the way. And that's the other big bag there, with lighter weight stuff being at the top, heavier weight gear being at the bottom there for the balance. I've got an OD extra small bag, and in there is the book I was going to read, the cultural book, the New Penguin Book of Short Scottish Stories, which includes a story by James Hogg, the Ettrick Shepherd, whose land I was walking past, whose novelty statue I don't like that statue. No, the statue I passed on across from St Mary's Water there, and I read all of pages 1, 2, and a bit of page 3, and that was it. I wasn't going to take it with me, but I decided in the spur of the moment, on the way out to the taxi, I'll grab this and be cultural. And other things that are in the backup bag is charger for the USB head, broken USB head, which I wouldn't need. MP3 player, cheaper one, 2 gig, got an FM radio, and earphones. You can clip that onto the pack as you're walking along and listen to music if you wish, or that I was doing with one headphone in, listening to Bill Bryson's Complete History of Everything, which I've got on here, and USB connection in there, one AAA battery, so there's no worry about charges if you've got batteries along with you. That all slots back together again, useful for train journeys as well, and quite robust. And for evening entertainment or catching the news in the morning, solar powered radio, a couple of AAA batteries in there, and headphones for listening to if there's too many people around. And the difference with this one is the fact that, aside from being big and clunky, is it's got AM, because you cannot be sure you actually get an FM connection out there in the world. Tent repair kit, spare pen with duct tape wrapped round it, a few bits of spare cash, the broken USB charge head. I don't know why I've still got it with me, I've got a new one in order, and spare biscuit, because hide food, sadly it's a surprise when I find it again.